number of units of a country's currency required to buy the same amount of goods and services. So in our example, buy the same amount of goods and services means 1 kg of wheat, right? Number of units of a country's currency required. How much currency is required of India's currency? Rupees 20 in the domestic market. So if we are buying from India, it is 20 rupees for 1 kg of wheat, as $1 would buy in the USA. So this $1 will buy 1 kg definitely. So how much is the purchasing power parity? 20 upon 1. So this is the definition, and you can see from our example this definition also. That example I will now discuss through the theory so that everything becomes crystal clear to you. So first I will give you 1 minute to read this PPT. Read this PPT and understand this PPT, and then I will discuss. But first you read so that things become much more crystal clear to you. So let me read out this PPT. Example, imagine that the market exchange rate between dollar and rupee is 60. $1 in the USA will buy 1 kg of wheat there. Corresponding money in terms of rupee, that is rupee 60, can buy 3 kg of wheat in India. Suppose that India's GDP is rupees 600. This will become $10 in the market exchange rate terms. If wheat is the only commodity produced in the world, you imagine it for simplicity's sake, one will think that India is producing 10 kg of wheat if we use the market exchange rate. Actually, India produces 30 kilograms of wheat. This higher volume of production in India is not expressed if we use the market exchange rate to measure the GDP. To overcome this defect and to accurately measure the GDP, we can use the purchasing power parity exchange rate. Under PPP, we measure the GDP of India by measuring how much wheat that rupee 60 can purchase in the India and $1 can purchase in the USA. Here, $1 in the USA can purchase 1 kilogram of wheat, whereas rupees 20 can purchase 1 kilogram of wheat in India. That is $1 is equal to 20. This is the PPP based exchange rate. This is the purchasing power parity exchange rate we obtained. Using this exchange rate, we can calculate that India's GDP of rupees 600 will become $30. Thus, in terms of PPP, India's GDP is $30 in contrast to the $10 we estimated by using market exchange rate. The PPP exchange rates help to minimize misleading international comparisons that can arise with the use of market exchange rate. If you ask how much unit of Indian currency is equivalent to $1 in terms of PPP, the World Bank has estimated it scientifically. The World Bank is using purchasing power parity conversion factor to correctly represent the PPP exchange rate. As per the World Bank estimate, 17.12 Indian rupee is equal to $1 in terms of purchasing power in 2014. So please, I'm giving you another 30 seconds. Please read this slide carefully and you will become crystal clear about the concept. Okay, let us move ahead. Now you are crystal clear about the concept of purchasing power parity. Let us discuss GDP on the nominal basis and GDP on the PPP basis. So, if we want to compare two countries, how do we do that? For comparing two countries, first we see the value of GDP in their home currency. Why? Because all the countries they calculate their GDP in the home currency, right? So if we take two example, one is India and another is UK. So India will calculate in rupees and UK will calculate in pound, right? Now to make the comparison between the two countries, what will we do? We will convert these two into a common currency. We will convert into a common currency, and this common currency, let us say this is dollar. Now this conversion from rupee and pound into the common currency, this can either be based on the market based exchange rate or it can be based on the PPP based exchange rate. So please tell me, if we really want to compare the exact worth of the two countries, which exchange rate should we follow? Should we follow the market based exchange rate or should we follow the PPP based exchange rate? So answer is clearly the PPP based exchange rate. We just discussed that it is the purchasing power parity based exchange rate which will give the true value of an economy, because it is calculating the true value of the economy based upon the purchasing power of the currency. So same thing has been explained over here. Again, I will give you 30 seconds. Please read this slide and then we will start discussion. So GDP nominal versus GDP PPP. GDP, what is the meaning of GDP? The total market value of all final goods and services produced in a country in a given year. Each country reports data in its own currency. To compare the data, each country's statistics must be converted into a common currency. Two methods can be used. One is nominal, another is purchasing power parity. The nominal GDP estimates are commonly used to make international comparison. Under it, the market exchange rates are used for conversion. It does not take into account differences in the cost of living in different countries. Right? So for this, we can relate to the example of Rohit and her friend. Right? Fluctuations in the exchange rate of the currency. So the exchange rates keep fluctuating. They keep fluctuating because of the different global factors. Sometimes it is the Middle East war, sometimes it is the downfall of the USA, sometimes it is the trade war going on between the US and the China. So there are different reasons because of which the fluctuation in the exchange rate happens. And based upon those fluctuation rates, we conclude the value of a particular economy, and based upon that the ranking of the different countries keep changing. But does that change in the ranking of different countries GDP based on the market exchange rate reflect the true value, the true picture of the things? No, that is not the truth. So fluctuations in the exchange rate of a country's economy may change a country's ranking from one year to the next, even though they often make little or no difference to the standard of living of its population. So even though there is no difference in the exchange standard of living of the people, but still that ranking is changing just because of the market exchange rate fluctuations. In the purchasing power parity exchange rate, the rate at which, what is this? What is the definition of this? The rate at which currency of one country would have to be converted into that of another country to buy the same amount of goods and services in each country. So example we have already given 1 kilogram wheat example. Now this is the data that you can see. The source of this data is International Monetary Fund, IMF, and IMF has indicated that if we see by the PPP basis, China is the first ranked country in the world, USA is the rank 2, and India is the rank 3, and this is basically the 2018 report, just 2 years ago. So China's GDP is having value of $25.3 trillion, USA $20.5 trillion, India $10.5 trillion, right? So this is the true worth, the true picture based upon the purchasing power. If we go on a nominal basis, it is the USA which is occupying the first rank. China is occupying the second rank, right? And I don't have the complete data regarding the nominal, because we are discussing the GDP on the PPP basis. So we will stick to this only. So based upon the PPP, these are the top three countries. But based upon the nominal GDP, you can see the change in rank. So China, which is in the first rank as per the PPP, comes to second rank as per the nominal GDP, right? India comes to rank 6 or 7. It keeps hovering between rank 6 and 7. Otherwise, if we see on the PP basis, this is just rank 3. Little more theory to make things more clear to you. So PPP refers to the equality of buying capacity, right? So we are always talking about the buying capacity or the purchasing power. So buying capacity means purchasing power and equality means parity, right? PPP was proposed by Gustav Cassel. So this is the name of the person who proposed this, and it is a method of determining the exchange rate based on the buying capacity of the respective currencies in their home country. The exchange rate is determined. So we discussed the example based on the buying capacity of the respective currency, right? So 1 kg of wheat, it can be purchased in just 20 rupees. PPP is an economic theory that compares different countries' currencies through a basket of goods approach, right? So in our example, we took the example of wheat only, but definitely wheat is not a single item in the country. There are many items, so we can include wheat, we can include rice, and so on. So we actually compare the basket of goods, not just one good. The prices of the goods and services in developed countries is very high. So we discussed the example of Mr. Rohit and her friend, right, who were having the package of 20 lakh rupees and 30 lakh rupees. So the prices of goods and services in the developed countries, that is USA, are very high compared to the developing and less developed countries. For example, India. Her friend was living in India, so she was enjoying the equal level of standard of living in the less price. It means the purchasing power of the money in the developed countries is lower. Yes. So purchasing power of the money in the developed countries is lower, and in the developing countries this is higher. So please be careful about this. Don't forget this. How do we calculate the PPP based exchange rate? So cost of goods X in currency 1, that is rupees 20, and cost of goods X, and in our example we took the example of wheat, in currency 2, that is dollar, $1. So purchasing power parity based exchange rate is rupees 20 per dollar. Now what are the drawbacks of PPP? First, transport costs. So transport costs can impact the buying capacity because the imported goods, they cost more. Secondly, the tax differences. The government can have the different tax rate. So for example, in India and USA the tax rate can be different, so that can impact the purchasing power of the currency. Government intervention. The government also intervenes in the tariffs. Sometimes the government reduces the prices of particular things for intentional purposes. It intervenes through subsidies, through MSP. So at that time the purchasing power of the currency is not the true measure, right? Non-traded services. So there are many services which are not traded at the international level. For example, insurance, there are utility like electricity, labor cost. So they are not traded at the international level. So comparing the purchasing power of currency based upon these non-traded services will be inappropriate. And last, the market competition. So higher prices can be there because a company may have a competitive advantage over the other sellers. So that can be one reason where the PPP may fail. Here one more diagram you can see why PPP rate is difficult to calculate. So we always say that PPP is reflecting much more true picture, but still why PPP is not frequently used. PPP is not frequently used because it is difficult to calculate the PPP's exchange rate. We don't have the appropriate data, and there are certain things which make it difficult to calculate the PPP based exchange rate. For example, in country A, the staple food can be soya, milk, olive oil, fish, rice. And in the country B, the staple food is milk, butter, beef, potatoes, etc. So comparison of food basket in the two countries is difficult. Similarly, public transport is good and free in country A, and in the country B it is very poor and expensive. So that will impact the cost of the goods. So there are many such practical factors because of which this PPP based exchange rate becomes difficult to calculate. But I am very much sure that this concept is crystal clear to you, right? Let us see the practice question. Which one of the following statements regarding the purchasing power parity is not correct? A. It is a method of determining exchange rate. B. Purchasing power of money in developed countries is higher than that of the developing and less developed countries. It's better than rate-based exchange rate as it compares the standard of living of people and stage of development. It was proposed by Gustav Cassel. So take 30 seconds and tell me what is the correct answer. So the correct answer, let us see, the question is which of the statement is not correct. Statement 1, this is correct. Statement 2, purchasing power of money in the developed countries is higher than that of the developing and less developed countries. This is wrong. I clearly mentioned that in case of developed countries, the inflation is very high, cost of living is very high, therefore their purchasing power is less. In the same amount of currency, they will buy less amount of goods. So this statement is wrong. It is better than rate-based exchange rate. Yes, this is true. And it was proposed by Gustav Cassel. This is also true. So answer is option B. B is the answer. So answer is option B, and I discussed this thing. With this, I complete this session. I hope you enjoy the purchasing power parity, and you will keep coming across this term in the newspapers. Please revise this lecture at least 2 times more to make this concept much more clear to you. And you can solve any type of question in the examination hall, and you can teach your friend. Right? I have given sufficient examples to make the things very clear to you. So with this, I complete this lecture. Thank you very much. All the best.